Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Depressed Eeyore, and this is Langrisser Mobile, and not Apex. I was about to say Apex, but it's a new month, so we have a new banner, and it does have at least one character that's worth talking about. Actually, both of them are actually pretty dangerous, so I guess I'll be talking about both of them. But before I do that, and I've actually got a minute before the banner actually becomes live, there's new inscriptions. There's one for Langrisser. She gets plus 5% intelligence, and when using skills on allies, it applies 15% decreased damage and immune, which means immune to all status effects, to the allied unit in the middle of the target for 2 turns. The 2-turn duration is actually kind of nice. If you set up Langrisser as kind of just support, she will pretty much be able to keep this up indefinitely for the most part. The way it's worded, I'm wondering if the immunity is only the middle and then everyone else gets 15%, but it's probably just both on just the middle target. In any case, I've actually been working on a lot of enchants and got Langrisser kind of set up, and I'm actually replacing Tiaras with her. Partially because she does a little bit better passive healing. Tiaras kind of relies more on being able to survive a hit in order for the passive healing to work for her. Also, she can put out terrain, which is pretty useful since a lot of the go-to combinations is just a rush Leon at me and then cover my entire area with, lava or whatever. So with this, I would be able to negate it and also be able to provide more passive healing. She's also has the Dark faction buff, though I probably don't really have the time or space for it. She also does have both access to Mass Resist and Mass Protect, which can give me at least some additional immunities to status effects that I otherwise wouldn't have. Besides that, there was also the exclusive. The new exclusive is for Tatalia. I don't remember what the other one is for. I'll look it up in a bit. It's a helmet, Vigilante's Visage. Provides health and defense, which is not the worst. When fighting enemies within 3 blocks of an enemy with evil awareness, you deal increased damage. And if you use Dark Devour to kill an enemy, after taking action, you'll gain a buff that makes it so you can't be targeted for 1 turn as long as you have 70% or greater HP, which is actually pretty useful. That's kind of been an issue for a lot of assassins, is only a few of them have select ways of actually escaping, more or less. It is tied to a Dark Devour, but Dark Devour actually has a reasonably good cooldown, so it's not the end of the world for that. So got that up and running. The only other updates to talk about is I did go ahead and get myself another Twilight Star and gave that to Illustrial, so I don't have the Asmodeus incident, or not Apotheosis incident again. And then I've also been kind of working on enchants with Liana, and I actually swapped her staff for a Night Bloom, just to have more opportunities to remove debuffs. Because having the ability to remove a debuff with Night Bloom and then being able to use her passive to heal can be potentially pretty useful. And alright, looks like we've hit the little timer thing, so that's good. But before we do that, the other character is for Sagani, which is something about snow owls and being annoying. Alright, so with all that said and done, let's go ahead and dive into this. So, summoning. A few hours ago I was doing the summoning video for Limbus Company, and I'm hoping my luck from that does not carry over, because it was not great. Alright, so just getting this out of the way. Alright. There she is. I don't know. What is this? Oh, wish list. Got it. Alright. So, Oath of Blades and Arrows. It has Andriel and Nemia. Andriel is actually really pretty dangerous. The nickname that Kong used was Cavalry Jintoki. Essentially, he has the ability to put his talent buff on an ally, which gives them a buff. Just a general increase in all stats type thing. And if that ally happens to die, he gets super buffed. And yeah, he's pretty brutal. And I believe his Sword Soul allows him to act again if he doesn't get killed. So he's pretty brutal. And then the other character is Nemia, which we'll go into in a second. So let's dive right in. So Namiya is a character I will probably try to use. Alright, right off the bat. Kong called her was it McLean with in a bikini, essentially. And alright, right off the bat. Okay. Alright, God, that's a pretty strong start. Both her classes are Archer, though she has a lot of stuff involving aquatic. She does have aquatic movement with at least one of her classes, even though she's, like I said, both of them are archers, but one of them does have aquatic movement, which has disadvantages because it does have aquatic movement, does have issues moving through things like forest and mountains. Alright, Fairy Emissary, a seeker of knowledge of the traceability school and an emissary of Dawn and Hope. I am going to go ahead and keep drawing though. I'm going to go ahead and try to get the other guy as well, just for collection, just in case I ever need him for bonds or whatever. Thankfully I do have all the stuff I need for Namiya's bonds. So we're good on that front. Now let's see if I'm going to be time to see if I'll be punished for being greedy. But the neat thing about Namiya is she does have a similar thing to McLean, where she can bypass guard if something is in water. She also has ways of increasing her range, and she has ways of putting out terrain that's beneficial to allies and detrimental to enemies. Alright, well, getting both within 30 summons. Imperial Edge of the strongest knight in the Osgus Empire, the unrivaled conqueror of a terrible army. I should probably catch up on the main story, because none of these terms actually matter to me. So I am going to go ahead and keep pulling. We'll see what we can get. I mean, this is our 40th summon now. I might as well see how crazy this gets. I mean, I think our last banner wasn't too lucky. I think we had a lot of petties. 20 again. Yeah, at least 3 SSRs within 50 summons is ridiculous. Not even sure how to react to that. Off-banner Ares, who I already have 6 stars. Alright. We'll keep going. I was thinking to my head, probably off-banner, and I was correct. Alright, probably going to go to pity at this point. We kind of deserve it. I should probably quit while I'm ahead, but I would like to try to get some stars on Namiya. The next banner does have a character I want as well. I'm not sure if I'll be able to fit her in the box, though. It's definitely someone I would like to use, but she's not exactly an assassin or anything else that I've been trying to do theme-wise. But she does have an act again for other people. So that's 50 summons. Alright. Alright, 60 summons. Not that bad. Awesome. That's what we want, another Namiya. I mean, we're really rolling the dice on whether or not we'll get duplicates. It's only 40% chance. Alright. So we have a 4-star at least. That'll at least make it so her terrain comes out as a ring. Well, all my luck's being used. Another Namiya. Alright. Getting there. If I can get at least one more, I would be quite pleased. I mean, I'm getting greedy, that's for sure. But yeah, her terrain is really, really useful. It's kind of unique in the fact that it only lasts for essentially one tick. Essentially, if you step on it, it will do its thing and then disappear, which makes it a little awkward. She does also have access to, I think it's called aim, whatever it's called, the one that gives you 2 extra steps, and then pretty much you use it to cycle cooldowns. But it actually works pretty well for her, because it lets her set up a lot easier to get the water out. But yeah, her terrain makes it so allies recover a % of their HP, I believe, and then they also get a random buff. And that random buff can be reasonably good. And then for the opposition, I believe it just does damage. And also I think it can hinder their movement. And it can also increase the your allies' movement, I think. It does quite a bit. And it has a really short cooldown for the talent, so you can get the terrain out pretty easily. And even if she... And I watched some videos of the Chinese servers prior to this, just to kind of see what they would do. And some of the neat things is the terrain stays out reasonably long. I think it lasts for about 2 turns, which is an eternity in Apex. But even when Namiya's gone, that terrain is still out there, giving buffs and all that. The only thing that's awkward about Namiya, at least from my box, is her factions right now. I believe it's Yillis, Mythical, and Origins, which I don't really have room for an Origins faction buff, because I just don't really have the room for another tank. Alright, thank you. Alright, we have a 5-star Namiya. Alright, cool. That's good enough for me. Alright, give me a bit. Actually, no, I'll do this first. It's usually what I do. There you are. Alright. Alright, so she has a flat attack increase for her talent, which is always nice. After taking action, you choose one block and apply the Mysterious Ocean Current special terrain effect to it, and the surrounding one block for 2 turns. And After a unit takes action, if it is located on this terrain, the special effect is removed and it gains an effect based on whether it's an ally or enemy. When it's an ally, they recover 15% of their max life and gain 1 random buff. If it's an enemy, they take fixed damage equal to 15% of their max HP. And then they also and gains regard to the current terrain as water for 1 turn. So, interesting effect there. The effects of applying Mysterious Ocean Current terrain can only trigger after 1 turn. When moving through allied Mysterious Ocean Current terrain, gain 2 blocks of mobility reduction mitigation. So yeah, really helpful. Alright. So up to 25% now. It says surrounding 1 block again, but I'm pretty sure that's not what it's supposed to be. So I believe if it's 3 stars, it's a cross shape, and then for 4 and 5 stars, it's essentially a 3x3 square. And then if you get her to 6 stars, it becomes essentially a 2-span AoE for the terrain. Alright, and we'll go ahead and let's see. I can show off gear right now, so let's do that. So, some of the suggestions, of course, her 3C is a line AoE that's reasonably powerful. So some people recommend Prismatic Destroyer. I'm actually going to be going with Lurker Sting, because I wish to take advantage of our long-range single target. Last Rites is usually the default. And then, of course, King's Crown is another default. And for her... for right now, the recommended accessory are usually things like Prisoner's Gear or something that just bolsters more of your attack further. I'm going to take Twilight Star because I want more ways to break Last Rites and things like that. Soldier-wise, decent variety. She does get access to sorceresses, which are flying. She also gets access to Tidal Elves, and apparently we have Island Ambassadors as well, which I forgot even exist. So yeah, we'll be dealing with that in a bit. So, let me be right back. I will get her all set up for Awakens. So, BRB. Alright, and we're back. Alright, so the factions are... Oh, it's not even Origins, it's freaking Glory. So, Glory, Strategic, and Yelis. Oh wow, I was completely wrong on the factions earlier. I apologize. I do have Strategic, but I do not have any faction buffers for Yelis or Legion, at least not any that are female. In any case, let's go ahead and dive into Awakens. Before we do that, I guess we'll talk about some of the skills I have already. So she does have access to aim, which is great. She does have access to snipe as well as neutralizing fire, which doesn't really see too much play. She does have defense break and attack support L. Attack support L is pretty decent, but she doesn't really have room for it. She does have access to 1,000 arrows, which is always good if you want to have her focus more on our AoE stuff. And our exclusives, she's got Coral Volley, 2 range, 2 cooldown, attacks a single enemy for 1.5 times, super effective against aquatics, of all things. When entering battle, if the enemy is in water, ignore guard for this battle, and renders the enemy unable to take action before battle for 1 turn. Cannot be dispelled. If the caster is on allied Mysterious Ocean Current, she also increases her damage by 20%. I think this is the first time I've seen anything that's super effective versus aquatics. I don't think the Mysterious Ocean Current counts as water itself, though, so you kind of have to... It is kind of hard to set this thing up, but it does work well on maps that do have water in it, and obviously it'll work for some of the training that gets thrown out by characters like McLean and stuff. And then I did misread the talent earlier. The bonus movement is only applied to her right now, but with Wave Ride she can apply a buff to 2 closest allies within 2 blocks to essentially give them the mobility buff as well, but it only lasts for 1 turn. So, besides that, soldier-wise, I went with Fairy Spirit Prophets. It has pretty reliable damage, and it doesn't get debuffed like sorceresses do whenever you take damage. Besides that, everything else is good to go. I do have up to level 5, up to level 6 on all of our inscriptions right now. And we'll dive right in. Relax, companion. Let us join the serenity from across the ocean. Sure thing. Alright, yeah, I'll stick with what we have right now. That's fine. Alright, so we got some aquatic here. Oh yeah, I am using the Fairy's Hope class, which is, it has 4 movement, but it's aquatic. Her alternative is also Archer, but it only has 3 movement, and it's just regular land movement. Alright. 2300 attack. I do have the Awakening Trial buff, of course. So you're gonna go 1. Oh, one thing I noticed on the recent videos for Chinese servers, they do have a button for showing the actual grid on the map, which would actually make counting these tiles a lot easier. 4 or 5. Alright. Bonk. Alright, so now I can just go around like this. I am Archer versus Flying, so I think it's pretty easy. I was also standing in that water stuff, so I did get healed and a buff out of it. Alright. Alright, so I'm able to use the movement from the terrain here to help me out here. I can stand it. Now note, if you do put the strain on yourself on the turn you're doing the aim, it will expend it. Because your turn will end and then you'll expend the terrain. So if you want to take advantage of it, make sure you have a space you can actually move to. Alright, so now she's got an extra pip. Not really anything for me to use it for, though. Listen carefully. At the edge of the continent, deep under the ocean, you will hear echoes of the truth. Alright, so we got Elwyn, Alucia, and Lance. Of all people. Alright, we can try to do something with this. And you are using Wave Ride. Okay. So you're not going to be able to do anything this round, neither are you, and you're just going to be annoying. Got it. Technically, I can get in range to kill. So that's what I'll do. So I can do that. So my skill has 2 range, but I have the Lurker bow, so I can just shoot from here. Alright. Do you have guard? Yes, you do. You have Triton. Which is unfortunate because I'm going to be just out of range. Alright, so I'm going to end up losing her. But that's okay, she did her job. Okay, So I pulled her out of water so she wouldn't get her self-res. And now you're silenced. Good times. I suppose you can get killed with this, could you? Yes, you could. Ah, yes, old school Ellen. Alright. Got that taken care of. Alright, so we get Asian's Fury, how should I pronounce it? Alright, so this we can drop that and pick up this. Oh. Alright, so passive. When attacking with a skill, if on allied Mysterious Ocean Current, you gain additional +2 range and can move in another 2 blocks after attacking. Very helpful. But again, remember you will expend it if you do it with aim here. And then her activated ability is attack all enemies in one straight line, which has 5 range right now. Which goes up to, I guess, 7 with the current. Deals 0.4 times AoE damage, applies regard the present terrain as water, and takes 30% increased fixed damage for 2 turns. So it works well with her actual Mysterious Ocean Current. It also applies the Mysterious Ocean Current effect to the affected blocks. If in water or on allied Mysterious Ocean Current, this becomes a 3-span skill. So it essentially becomes a wide breath attack AoE, essentially. Which puts out even more terrain, which is always good. So yeah, it's a little awkward to kind of get set up to actually make it so you can guard bypass. But even with that, even without the guard bypass part, this does still do rather good damage. 1.5 times does extra against aquatic, which there's not too many aquatic nowadays. And then if she's in her terrain, she'll have plus 20% damage and plus 2 range, which on top of the bow would make it 5 range, which is pretty impressive. Or you can use a situation, the debuff that she applies lasts for 2 turns. So as long as you're not dealing with Rose and Seal, or someone that can dispel it, you can apply it and then just go to town next round with Coral Volley. Alright, so that is Nemia. So yeah, good times. I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Actually, before we go, I did say I was going to probably use her in Arena, so more than likely we're going to be looking at probably dropping Narm at this point. As much as I enjoy using Narm at Gold 3 at this point in the new season, I'm not going to be able to trick anyone, really, with Narm shenanigans anymore. Also, I am blind. Because I scrolled way... Holy cow, where is she? Am I blind? I feel like I am blind. Yeah, I'm blind. I literally cannot see her. Yeah, I don't know where she's at. Let me... Yeah, right after Lena. She should be after Lena. But she's not. So I'm a little concerned. Oh, is it? Oh, I think it's because of freaking... Yeah, I know why it's happening. Please, Hero Sync. Confirm. Thank you. So they made it so they're separate now. That's why I couldn't find her. So any updates to stats and stuff actually needs to be dealt with. That is kind of annoying. Well, I'll do that on my own. But I am the Depressed Eeyore. This was Langrisser Mobile. And I will see you guys hopefully in the next Apex matches. See ya.